Jody Wilson-Raybould and Jane Philpott have both been kicked out of the Liberal caucus. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made the announcement yesterday, moments after their fellow government MPs had gathered on Parliament Hill for an emergency meeting to determine their future with the party. Wilson-Raybould, whose explosive allegations of political interference by the Prime Minister's office appear to have deeply imperiled Liberal hopes of holding on to power in this fall's federal election, wrote to her fellow, now former caucus members earlier in the day in hopes of convincing them to let her stay.
Civil wars within parties are incredibly damaging because they signal to Canadians that we care more about ourselves than we do about them. That's why I made the difficult decision to remove Ms. Wilson-Raybould and Dr. Philpott from the Liberal caucus. We've taken every effort to address their concerns. But ultimately, if they can't honestly say that they have confidence in this team, despite weeks of testimony, face-to-face conversations, and phone calls with myself and other members of caucus, then they cannot be part of this team.
Contractors in Sault Ste. Marie say the passage of Bill 66 marks a significant step forward for fair and open construction tendering in the city and the province. According to the Progressive Contractors Association of Canada, the legislation opens up a competitive construction market where all Ontario workers, businesses, and public entities are treated fairly. Ward 3 City Councillor Matthew Shoemaker said in an email that a 30-year struggle to ensure that local companies paying local taxes can bid on local work has finally come to an end. He's pleased to see Sault Ste. Marie join the remaining 440 municipalities in Ontario who can accept bids from companies regardless of whether they are bound to two specific unions, any other union, or they're non-unionized. On behalf of PCA locally, Dana O'Brien is urging Sault City Council to embrace the legislation and give all local contractors and workers a chance to build local construction projects. Bill 66 closes a legislative loophole that unintentionally deemed some of Ontario's largest municipalities, including Toronto, Hamilton, the region of Waterloo, and Sault Ste. Marie, as construction employers. The unfair and unintended loophole prevented the vast majority of Ontario construction companies and their workers from bidding and working on public projects. Yesterday, Soo MP Terry Sheehan's private member's motion asking parliamentarians to examine the needs and indicators of precarious workers in Canada to apply effective supports began at the Standing Committee on Human Resources, Skills and Social Development and Status of Persons with Disabilities. Sheehan has repeatedly said the need to start from a detailed, shared definition of precarious employment in Canada is the only way to create policy to effectively support Canadians. The committee heard testimony from several experts as well as Soo local Alison Schmidt, who provided a first-hand account of the effects of precarious employment on women in single-parent homes. Schmidt said that precarious employment places an unfair burden on workers, generates stress, and creates many barriers to personal, financial, and professional health, achievement, and success. The study on Sheehan's motion continues tomorrow. Following a successful Easter Seals telethon on Sunday that went off air with a total of $102,189 for children and youth with physical disabilities, an additional $6,007 has been donated, raising the Soo's total amount raised to $108,196.54.
But you know what? We're going to do great. I really believe it. We're going to do great. We're going to take the House back. We are. I feel totally confident about that. We're going to watch those vote tallies. You know, I keep hearing about the election and the various counting measures that they have. There were a lot of close elections they seemed to, every single one of them went Democrat.
President Donald Trump told House Republicans yesterday that they need to embrace health care reform and make it the first thing they vote on after the 2020 election. Trump also mentioned trade with Canada.
Canada is very, very tough. You know, we love Canada. We think of the beautiful song and the ice hockey games. Oh, Canada, isn't it beautiful? But in the meantime, they knock the hell out of us on trade. The United States is now the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world, and that all happened over the last 2 years.